Because she was starving, the 7-year-old girl braved the heavy rain and came to the cave. She stared fixedly at the hard piece of bread in the boy's hand. Her obvious gaze made the boy understand immediately. Mud mixed with rainwater made her look dirty and pitiful. In the end, the boy could not bear it. He placed his lunch at the entrance of the cave. The girl cautiously moved toward it. After grabbing the bread, she hurried back to a small hill. Seeing this, the boy offered her some milk. But the girl ran away like a frightened deer. When the boy came out of the cave, she had already disappeared. A few days later, the girl found the boy again. For the one who gave her food, she lowered her guard a little. After she finished the bread and milk, the boy Lavos invited her to play. A child's world is always pure and innocent, but there is also a saying that children who grow up poor learn to fend for themselves early. After helping her several times, Lavos realized she never seemed to be full. She was always dirty and smelled bad. Even the cows avoided her when she got close. Lavos felt both amused and heartbroken. Why were her family members treating her so harshly, not feeding or caring for her? When he asked, Tink refused to talk about her family. To find out the truth, the next time she asked for food, Lavos refused her. So Tink took a cup and walked toward the cow. She tried to milk it herself, but the cows all moved away from her. Angry, she threw the cup to the ground. Lavos gently comforted her. If she took him to her home, he would give her food. Otherwise, he would never come again. Hearing this, Tink lowered her eyes. In the end, she agreed and led him deep into the forest. After a long walk, Lavos finally saw a crude and primitive house. Tink brought him to her room, a chicken coop. Seeing the place filled with droppings and hay, Lavos could not believe it. Then his shock reached its peak when she took him to see her father. A small mound of dirt rose from the ground. Her father was buried there. Because they were poor, this was the best place she and her mother could find. At that moment, Lavos noticed a small pit beside the grave. He asked where her mother was. He wanted to meet her, but Tink refused. They had agreed that once she brought him home, he would give her food. Now she was too hungry and wanted to eat. Lavos felt something was very wrong. He asked again to see her mother. Tink screamed to refuse him. The piercing scream made Lavos push her, trying to make her stop. But Tink, who only knew how to protect herself with force, instinctively struck him with what she was holding. Seeing Lavos fall to the ground, she dropped it and knelt down to apologize. She begged him not to disturb her. Hearing her suppressed sobs, Lavos stood up and walked toward the main house. He pushed open the door. Soon Tink heard his screams and the sound of him vomiting. Her mother had died last winter. She had wanted to bury her, but she was alone and could not dig a grave. Looking at the small and fragile Tink, Lavos finally helped her bury her mother beside her father. Tink even picked flowers and placed them on her mother's grave. But now there was a more serious problem. What should they do about Tink? He could not leave her here alone, but he was only a hired worker. Because his family was poor, he had left home to work in this town. He worked as a cowherd, so if he wanted to take her in, he had to ask his employer first. Lavos told the lady of the house about Tink's situation and brought her to his room. Seeing the sleeping Tink, the lady gently touched her face. When Tink opened her eyes and saw a stranger, she instinctively struck out. Then she curled up in the corner. Smelling the odor on her hands and face, the lady picked her up and heated water to bathe her. After being cleaned, Tink revealed her true appearance: red hair, bright blue eyes, and fair skin. She sat quietly in the chair, looking gentle and lovely. The lady began to consider adopting her. While Tink was eating, Lavos also took a bath. He smiled as he watched her eat the bread, but the warm moment ended abruptly when the master of the house walked in. He was displeased that Lavos was bathing instead of working. He asked why he was not milking the cows. Then he slapped him. He ordered him to get back to work immediately. The rough behavior made Tink shrink back in fear. Facing her hot-tempered husband, the lady said she wanted to keep Tink to help her, but he coldly refused. He planned to send Tink to the sheriff. Hearing this, Tink screamed, but the man was not intimidated. He harshly told her to be quiet. When Tink tried to leave, he blocked her path with his cane. With a threatening expression, he warned her not to try anything. His vicious demeanor triggered her instinct to defend herself. She lunged at him. This frightened both the lady and Lavos. She quickly stepped forward and pulled them apart. Then, following her husband's order, she took Tink to the sheriff.